Peloton has decided to go full evil and adds a $95 activation fee for used equipment. So if you get on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and you purchased a used Peloton exercise machine of any kind, there will be a $95 one-time activation fee for you to pay to even turn the device on, to get it functional, to do anything with it, to get the old account off, to actually be able to exercise, because it's a smart device and there is no analog mode. There is no simple on or off for this kind of device. And Peloton did this in direct response to a new startup called Trade My Spin, which is building a business around used Peloton equipment. They saw that a lot of people bought Pelotons and eventually stopped using them, and that they couldn't get rid of them. They're too big, they're too bulky, they're difficult to move, maybe it's hard to get them up and down steps, and there's this whole like add-on services and stuff. So they basically built a logistics company that will go, I'm trying to find the images here, will go and pick up people's Pelotons. They know exactly how much space they take, how many they can put in a vehicle, where they can ship them, they can log you out, they can basically factory reset the things and get them ready to go. And they charge a little bit for this service. You know, they have to make some kind of money. The entrepreneurs are doing well. Peloton was not impressed by this. Peloton sees their business as a zero-sum game, and they believe these guys are cutting in on potential profits. So they want to get this, they want to get a slice of this secondary market, and in a shareholder newsletter on Thursday, Peloton outlined its ongoing strategy to retain its financial footing from the pandemic fall, and they want to add a one-time used equipment fee to the devices. As the article says, the move is an effort to squeeze additional revenue from secondhand products. It's ridiculous. I genuinely hate that it's difficult for me to purchase exercise equipment for my home, because a huge amount of them are smart devices that require a subscription service to even turn on and use. And it would be even more frustrating to buy a used one of those and have to pay an activation fee and then a subscription service fee. You know how every company has to have their own streaming service? Well, Chick-fil-A is hatching a plan for its own streaming service that focuses on reality TV, as insane as that is, and they want this service to be competing with Netflix and Disney Plus in the streaming wars, which seems absolutely wild to me. But it's not the wildest thing, given that Walmart recently partnered with Paramount Plus, and the Deadline report, which is the other article, indicates that what they're looking for is reality TV based content, and the budgets for this unscripted content are estimated to be in the $400,000 per half hour range. And then later they want to entertain the idea of scripted projects and also animation, the Chick-fil-A animation. It's going to be very friendly, very PG-13. That would make sense as it's a Christian company. And you would say, this is weird, this is nonsense, this is a corporate failure. There's no way Chick-fil-A can do a streaming service, but a little bit known fact that Chick-fil-A is a private company. It's not publicly traded, and it's owned by the Cathy family, whose independently managed trust was instrumental in the foundation of Trilith Studios, which is the Atlanta studio most well known for its frequent work with Marvel. So the Chick-fil-A trust and family owners already have close ties to Marvel production, which is impressive and I guess a good thing, a very necessary thing. But I gotta tell you, I don't really want Chick-fil-A Plus. I mean, I hope the Chick-fil-A content is something more like Netflix's Nailed It, or some sort of like, or maybe like Kitchen Nightmares or something, and not just sort of like a boring Food Network sort of knockoff. I guess what I'm really trying to do here is roast Disney Plus. Disney Plus has become very sort of mild and banal and boring, and I'm afraid that if Chick-fil-A uses the same studio and writers and has this very sort of family-friendly plan, then it's going to launch as this very mid, very uninteresting network, which probably wouldn't perform that well in our current media ecosystem of increasingly shocking content. So I don't wish for them to be a failure. It's just a very unusual proposition. I can't imagine like every commercial is for Chick-fil-A. That sounds wild. This is the most dystopian story I've seen all day. Amazon is bricking the Echo Show Photos 8 primary feature of showing photos on the device, like family photos like you see here in the image, and replacing that with advertising. So if you purchase this device as little as a year ago, it costs $160. It's an Amazon Echo smart device. It does a great number of things, but when you're not using it, it operates a lot like a smart frame. It just shows family photos or whatever photos you want. But when you do use it, obviously there's other things going on. And this was even called the Photos Edition. That was the only reason people bought it, because it was basically the same as the regular Echo Show, but If you paid $2 a month subscription service, if you paid a subscription service to Amazon, they would allow you to put family photos on their device that you purchased, as if smart frames aren't cheaper elsewhere, but some people went for it. Well, about a year after releasing it, Amazon is announcing that it's discontinuing the Photo Plus, which means the Echo Show Photo Edition. Users will see ads instead of their family photos. It's not that they need to move to a new tier. It's not that they need to pay more that they weren't already paying. At this point, you can't even send Amazon the $2 a month to have your family photos on the device. It makes them more money to force you to watch advertising, so they decided to do that. And I just think it's a shame. It would be a shame if the Amazon Echo went the same way as the Amazon Astro robots, or the Amazon Just Walk Out Shopping, or the Amazon Fire Phone, or the Amazon Glow, or the Amazon Smart Oven. It's like people don't want to buy loss leader devices that companies can just screw with years later. We're talking about Peloton and its subscription services and stuff like that. Who wants to spend $160 on what is essentially a goofy shaped tablet that's tied into Amazon stuff, only to have the features change to where you can't even customize it and look at pictures of your family, and instead are forced to watch advertisements from whatever in the world Amazon thinks it is you want to buy. And you got to pay for that too. Those advertisements aren't free. You're paying to watch those ads. That's just crazy to me. Makes me kind of sad. It's kind of creepy that this is the feature that they decided would really, turn that bottom dollar around. We move another couple of beans over on the abacus to save a few schmeckles here, because I think this is absolutely silly. New research in neuroscience uncovers a unique brain bond between romantic partners, i.e., romantic partners actually do think alike, both at the neurochemical level and at the emotional regulating level. It's very, very interesting research. Basically, what scientists did, and I believe this was in China, is they found 25 heterosexual couples and 25 really close friends. And they wanted to study these groups and see how much their brains, their emotions, their thought patterns kind of sync. They put these helmets on them to give a live EEG, and then they showed them images that were very emotionally charged to elicit a response from your body, something kind of like what your Fitbit would pick up on and be like, "Are you stressed?" And they studied the couples, male and female, and then they studied the really close friends. And what they found is that almost all of the couples were more in sync with both behavioral synchronization and neurological synchronization than the friend group. And what's interesting is that they were able to determine that having a better relationship would actually increase synchronization. And when the quality or strength of your relationship lowers, there are higher levels of desync. So actually, the more in love people are, the more they sync up emotionally. Now, what's also interesting about this is that not all emotions synced up the same. They actually showed a much, much higher rate of synchronization for negative emotions than for positive ones, though both did sync up in couples. So I guess it's almost like you pair and it's like you hate the same things, you respond to the same things negatively, you take on some of your partner's emotions, and that kind of tracks with my experience in life and just generally makes sense. I think it's a fascinating study. Pretty much nobody in the close friend group could compete with this. Even people that had been friends for decades, that grew up together, that really knew each other, brothers from a different mother kind of thing, did not compete with even the lower end of quality of a romantic relationship in terms of brain synchronization. So I found this to be fascinating.